So in part one of this video, you have seen the installers come and install a worm farm septic waste system. What you can see here is just what's left after they've completed their installation. So as you can see, bringing an excavator down a hill over a grassed area leaves a significant amount of mess, which was pretty difficult to clean up, and you'll see some of that in the later part of this video. The other thing that I found is there was areas where the septic tank pit was dug, all the topsoil was scraped off there, so grass will no longer grow in that area and have to bring grass back in. I had a retaining wall that was damaged and broken off at the post and just left on the floor, and then also the old septic tank. Now within the price was emptying that old septic tank, but as the installers was leaving, they advised me that they reckoned it was too solid to empty. It wasn't. I got somebody else in later on to do it after getting into dispute with Worm Farm. And then the other thing that they did was they actually pressed on the lid and ended up pushing the lid back inside the tank. So you'll see later on in the video that I had to also build a lid. The other thing that you'll see is just, once the drain field's completed and backfilled, it really is an absolute mess. It's an absolute eyesore. It's just sort of left piled up. And you'll see as part of this video, I ended up spending weeks and weeks and weeks going through all of that, leveling it, removing all the rocks, and trying to make it look good again. So by the time I got a chance to be able to actually start addressing some of the mess that was left, the ground had gone pretty hard, and summer was on its way. So I hired a rotavator, or the rototiller, to actually loosen up the soil, so I could actually then get a rake in and actually just rake it level and get rid of all the ruts and bumps and mess that was left. So the power rotor did a really good job of breaking just the top layer. It was an absolute full day, and it took me the whole day of using this machine to cover the actual tracks of the excavator as it came in and out of the site. That's all I got done in the day. Very difficult doing that. Rocky ground, really steep, and to start with, the ground was absolutely solid, so it took quite a few passes with the machine to actually break the soil up to the point where you could then rake it and try and smooth it out. At the end of the day, that was done. I never got onto the drain fields that day, and it just literally took too long to do. But the end results were pretty good. I was able to go through it with a rake and level the whole area off and leave it for naturally grass seeding itself during the course of summer. So the next thing we had to tackle was the drain field itself. This is very hard work. We had to go through raking the top surface and breaking up all the soil and pulling out all the rocks, and then going out with a soil spreader and making the soil as sort of smooth as possible. We did this mostly 6 months after the drain field had been installed, and it took multiple weekends just to tackle that 90 metres of drain field, and the number of rocks that we pulled out made this really difficult. But as you can see, the results were pretty good. We knocked over all the big all the bumps and lumps that was in there, smoothed it all over, and as you'll see on some of the photographs, within a year it started to grow back and reseed itself. What you're seeing now is what it looked like when we completed the smoothing of all the drain field. This was in January 2019. And now we fast forward through to April 2020. And what you're seeing now is how the land has recovered given that period of time. So you can just barely see the drain fields there which are left over, but it is regrassing nicely. You can see the 4 drain pits there, or the lids of the drain pits. And then as you look to the left of this image, that was the track of the excavator. You can barely make out where the excavator had been in the past. And now as I fly the drone over towards where the actual septic tank is, you'll see there what I was talking about earlier, where all the topsoil was scraped off and what's left is just rocky and rubbly, and very little is grown back there. So I do need to get in there and redress that with topsoil and get some grass down. But I've got a few things to do in this area, so I'm leaving that for the time being.